What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How we doing tonight? Obviously, we got a nice crew. As you can see, we got 3 Steeler fans and 4 Brown. No, wait, yeah, 3 and 4, right? That's where we're matching up tonight. That's right. We're undermatched, but we'll be overmatched at the end, right, guys?
Hell no. This the season for an upset.
Evan, I'm taking down the logo so people can see you.
That's fine.
There we go. All right. So, Cal, first time on the show. How are you, man?
I'm great, man. Glad to be here. Glad to talk some sports with the guys.
That's right. All right. Keith, how are you tonight, buddy?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
All right. Johnny, how are you, bud?
Very good. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Mark, how are you, man? Long time no talk. Like I said before you entered screen, but how you doing?
Doing great. Good to talk to you about some football. Typically, we're talking baseball, so glad to be here.
Right. I'm sure you got your opinions on the Golden Bat Age.
Me, yeah. I got opinions, all right. But yeah, it's hey, and for the guys in Cleveland, being a lifelong Clevelander, hopefully you finally put the snow shovel away.
It's really been the snow belt and not really the city, to be honest. So I'm grateful for right now.
That's good.
So since I have these Cleveland guys on real quick, my question is, with the Redskins talking about going back to the Redskins, are the Indians going to go back to the Indians? Hopefully.
No, because they stupid.
I doubt it.
Don't think so.
Chance.
Yeah, that would. I think I saw something in an article about it, but it would cost a lot of money to kind of make that switch back. Making adjustments to the ballpark, the scoreboard, doing all that stuff. But that's wishful thinking. I'd love to see it happen, but I don't think that's in the cards.
And last but not least, Evan and Rich, my 2 guys. How we doing, guys?
I'm doing good. Ready to talk some shit.
You're always ready to talk shit. When aren't you?
Absolutely. That's why I'm here.
Rich,
it's a whole
how
lot
you
better
doing?
though when you're. I'm doing good, man. It's a whole lot better to talk shit when your team's good, though.
We good against y'all so far.
We do not have much room to talk about this matchup, Rich.
1 out of 16 don't mean much.
We are the 6-point favorites this week, but we were favored, I believe, in 2 weeks ago. I think 43.5 is the over/under. I would take the over. Cleveland's hit the over 6 to 1 out of the last 7 games, I believe. So I would take the over in this game. Yeah.
I
Anyway.
probably would too. The big thing is, and I think we can all sort of agree on this, when you look at the beginning of the season schedule, you kind of figure 500 in the division. Okay. You split with all the 3 other teams and you call it good and move on to who else you're playing, right? Because we just beat each other's brains in that division.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, but I'm gonna just say that part for later. But I think I'm gonna ask the first question to Steelers fans. Do you think you guys show up with a different mentality this week? Because there's been a lot of complaining about the weather. You guys have been called out. It's at least here. You guys have been called out a lot for complaining about whether it's awards or whether it's when you lose or when things don't go your way, that a lot of your star players are complaining in the media.
I heard Justin Tucker say he couldn't kick at Heinz Field, but Boswell kicked really well. But as we're starting to see, Justin Tucker is not able to kick barely anymore at all. And I don't know what's going on with him, whether it's old age or what. But like it follows everywhere. When you lose, you bitch.
But y'all have been winning, and y'all have been winning
matter.
consistently, and y'all complain a lot. And to answer Rich's question, last year Minka was in the media complaining. George Pickens was complaining, saying that the weather won us a game that we had to leave before it started snowing, and that's when y'all made y'all comeback. T.J. Watt been bitching since he got in the league, especially after he didn't get his Defensive Player of the Year award. Um, George Pickens is always crying. Y'all have always had receivers crying. So, do
Whoa,
y'all
whoa, 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 Evan. Hold on a second. That's receivers in general. Receivers are divas, and receivers bitch. Cooper bitches. All these guys. It doesn't matter. Jerry Rice bitched, and he's the greatest of all time.
second
I mean,
greatest?
if you're a wide receiver, you're gonna cry and moan because you were open on every single play, and they should have thrown you the ball every single play. Right or wrong?
I agree about that, but to complain that the weather was the reason y'all lost the game, that y'all wasn't winning before it turned into a snow globe, is kind of crazy.
But then the biggest
I
one that's
just,
been crying is you got it wears 95 on your team.
Not crying, proving a statement. There's a difference.
You know what's comical is being a Browns fan here in Pittsburgh. It seems like the Steelers lose. You listen to the talk shows. The sky's falling. Fire Tomlin. All this bitching and moaning, and is like, how about you walk a few yards in our shoes? So we've been in rebuilding mode for 35 years, it seems. So it's funny that people. They still think you walking around here, after the Browns beat them, I think this is a house of cards. They're not as good as we think they are, and on and on. It's like there's a lot of negativity, which kind of shocks me. For all the success the Steelers have had over the years, there's just a lot of negativity for whatever reason, which to me doesn't make sense. That's why I say walk in our shoes and see how it really feels.
Right, Adam.
when you say success, we base it on championships, Mark. I don't base it on regular
You've
season.
had
Regular season shitty. I don't care.
You've had
I don't
champions.
care.
But you bitch about the regular season all the time. Yo, Cal, this is the dude I was telling you about that was
Yo,
saying fire. No,
9-8, 10-8, 10-7 don't do shit for me. Prove it in February, you can win.
He's been
all
complaining
your
about
great
firing
numbers.
Mike. He's been complaining about firing
okay,
Mike Tomlin for 3 years.
He's still gonna get his little bus out there in Canton, Akron, Ohio one day, and we're all gonna go if he's with other people. He's gonna get a crowd, but he's won one championship, lost another one, has won 3 playoff games in the last 11 years. What good is that? I don't
Who
care.
you gonna replace him with?
I don't even
Who you
care.
gonna replace him with?
Outside of Andy Reid, and trust me, guys, we do this thing every week, and I promise you, the biggest debate we've had is this particular topic. Outside of Andy Reid, who would you take in Tomlin's spot right now?
I guarantee people would come for this job.
Yeah, it would come, but we asked who you would take.
Everybody wants the job. Who's gonna put 18 winning seasons together? There's a reason the Steelers have only had 3 coaches in the last 52 years. There's a reason for that.
If we had social media during Cowher's time too, we would have been saying the same thing.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, we would.
No, you wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
And Cowher actually had losing seasons.
What do you mean? Because social media didn't exist. I mean, it existed. I mean, we all had Tom, our best friend, on MySpace.
So because social media didn't exist, you weren't saying we should fire him because it didn't exist.
I was also a teenager then. I really didn't pay that much attention. So
okay.
Well,
but I mean, we did see
Cowher had, I believe, 3.
Cowher.
Yeah, he had 3 losing seasons.
3. How long was he your head coach?
3 in 15 years.
Dog, he 12-3 when it comes to winning seasons.
92 to 07, right?
Tomlin's 18-0. Tomlin's 18-0 for winning seasons. The Steelers have not had a losing record in 22 years, and this guy over here is ready to fire the coach.
Yeah, because
Cleveland Browns fans.
Hmm.
Cleveland Browns fans. Would you guys take 18 consecutive winning seasons?
And
Yep.
one Super Bowl, hell yeah, shit. You can
Yep.
keep the Super Bowl. I'll take 18 winning seasons.
If
We
we
can
get
too.
every call known to man, I'll take that too.
That's true.
Who gets every call known to man?
Steelers.
You guys do endlessly.
Go ahead, Cal. I want to hear your opinion.
Yeah, what's
wanna-
Kale got to say?
If I can interject on that for the coaching aspect. Now, I'm not believe me, there's been some times I've called for Tomlin to be fired. But at the end of the day, he is 18-0. Great coach. Besides Reed and Belichick, that Mount Rushmore up there, it looks like he's up there in my opinion. And as little time as he's been the coach compared to, guys back in the day. But when the Eagles let Andy Reid go, sometimes you just need to move on. Now, I'm not saying we need to yet, but, I'm just saying sometimes it's beneficial for both parties to move on. That's
Do you
my
feel
opinion.
you're there yet?
I don't think we're there yet, no. Because this is our first time seeing Tomlin finally take over. He has a chance to build his team because Roethlisberger wasn't a Tomlin guy. Now he could find him a quarterback and build a team around for himself. Granted, for years most of the guys were his guys. That Cowher shit, that didn't mean anything. But now he has an opportunity. I'd give him. If he keeps winning, why let him leave? He doesn't want to leave. He loves it here. This has been his city for 18 years.
Do you know what Reed's record was the last 2 years he was in Philly?
What was it?
8-8, 4-12. If Tomlin goes 4-12 and you guys want to run him out of town, fine. I'll be the leader of the train.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
you
4-12 is never
wait.
happening. Or 4-3.
Wait. That brings an interesting question for me. If y'all were to go 4-12, and have an opportunity for him to get his quarterback, like Cowher got, you would still move on.
Ben was pick 11. He wasn't a top 10.
Ben was number 11.
That don't change nothing.
The point is a franchise quarterback available.
Right. And
I'm not moving on. No.
That's what I'm getting at because, okay, let's say y'all go 8. Let's say y'all went 8-8 this year, right? Or 8-9 this year, or 9-8. And he has a chance to go get his franchise quarterback. You getting rid of it?
You have no chance this year at 9-8 to get a franchise quarterback. This is a weak class anyway.
Right. I'm just saying hypothetically.
Rich, you said it last night. How are you going to improve with middle round picks?
But y'all have done it for so long. Like,
you guys have late round picks
teams,
every year, and you pick guys that fit your system. That's how you improve.
Right. It's how you do it. I mean, getting Najee Harris when we got him. It was later in the first round, and we got him. Fit the system perfectly. When you get a guy, and yes, I understand this cat is probably the biggest diva this team has had since Antonio Brown. But you can't deny the talent George Pickens has got. Got him later in the round. Okay, so we haven't had the ability to draft in the top 5. Oh my God. We haven't had the chance to draft in the top 5. Do you realize when the Steelers had their last number 1 overall pick?
Wasn't that Terry?
1969.
I was going to say, didn't Chuck Noll take
Yeah,
it?
I was born.
Right. 1969. How many number 1 overall picks have you guys had?
Too many to count.
Too many.
8,000.
7.
Too many.
A lot of times, and I run into this with Steeler fans all the time, and Cal, please stick your 2 cents in on this. We don't really understand what we have because there are probably 25 fan bases that would give their eye teeth to have what the Steelers have got. You don't think, well, I'll use one of our guys. You don't think Dylan would give his right testicle to have the kind of record the Steelers have had? And he's a Jaguars fan.
I think you give them both.
Maybe his left. I don't know about his right, though.
Well, yeah, It's kind of depends. Yeah. But I mean, seriously, I think Steeler fans don't realize how good we have it a lot of times with the success that the team has had and all those winning seasons and all that kind of stuff, and the lack of chaos in the front office and everything.
Yeah,
So
I think Steeler fans are. I think they're spoiled. I agree with you, Rich. I think they're spoiled. I think they've seen winning football for a long time, and when there's no playoff wins in a few years, they start jumping off the cliff, and now they want to fire this one and get rid of that one, and it's just as much as I would take a bullet before I root for the Steelers, but you got to admire and you gotta respect what they've done over the course of all these years, and it's consistency. As you said, 3 head coaches in how long?
55
69.
years.
54 years now. 54 years. Yeah.
Whereas like the Browns, the Browns are just it's a picture of ineptness. We've stunk forever since the team came back. Every 5 or 7 years you get a winning season or maybe a playoff berth. It's every other year. I mean, for a while there it was every other year a new coach, a new GM, and just a complete debacle. So I think Pittsburgh fans, in just listening and the talk shows and talking to the people around here, I think they're spoiled and they really don't know how good they have it. I agree.
There's one other thing, though, Mark, and when you were talking about that, it made me really think about this. Everybody talks about the Bears not having that quarterback forever. When's the last time that Cleveland had that true franchise quarterback?
Bernie.
I mean, you look at the list that they've had since
1989.
1989, and it's like 40 guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is Brian Sipe really the biggest franchise quarterback y'all have had in the last, say, 40, 50 years?
No, Bernie Kosar was
Bernie.
number 1.
Kosar, I'm sorry. I forgot about Kosar.
Bernie.
Yeah, Bernie.
I forgot about Bernie. That's my fault. My bad.
I don't want to piss off Browns fans, or the guys in the chat or in the show with us tonight. But
I think you're going to go Baker.
hell no! Even though I got his jersey in there, I think we had one in Tim Couch. We just didn't have the offensive line around him to allow him to develop.
Yeah, what they do? They after like 2 games, they threw him in front of I think my grandmother and aunts and uncles probably could have performed better in the offensive line. You throw the guy out there, of course he didn't succeed. I mean,
we were only allowed to select practice squad players to start our franchise, so that's kind of what happened. But
I agree, but you could draft him and sit him
in every round, and what did they get out of it?
This incarnation of the Browns has been around, 25 years now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
well, yeah, we're talking about Tim Couch though, and having no support.
Yeah, and we've talked about this on open mic a few different times, guys. Evan knows and Adam knows what I'm going to get into here. That falls on your front office. You may be going best player available, but if that particular best player available at quarterback doesn't fit the system that you have, drop down a little bit and get a guy that's ready to plug into your system instead of having to try to unteach a guy and then teach a guy.
We don't have
falls on the front.
We don't have a system because we fire a coach every single year like Adam wants to do. And if you never have consistency, how can you have a system?
Well, like Andrew Berry, that guy should be shown the door tomorrow.
Absolutely not.
He's had
Absolutely not.
37 draft picks. Name one stud.
Oh, let's get into it then.
Name one stud.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it. DeJuan Jones, number 1.
Who?
Number 2, DeJuan Jones, number 1.
That's
DeJuan
a stud.
Jones.
He's
Yes,
a stud.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Look, wait.
He's solid. He's solid. He's not a stud.
Okay. JOK Grant Delpit.
JOK. He's very, very good. He's not a stud.
You seriously gonna say that JOK is not a stud?
No.
When you look at his numbers, he's one of the. Okay, there's no winning this
You
argument.
go
I see
around the
where this is
league,
going.
people don't even know who JOK is.
Stop it. That's not true at all.
Okay, telling you. Look at.
All right, watch this.
I'm
Okay,
gonna ask.
wait.
I'm gonna
Watch
give
this.
you. I'll
Wait,
give
no,
you
watch
JOK.
this.
I'm gonna ask who is
I'll give you
JOK.
JOK. Name. So the other 36 picks. Name one.
Out of the other 36 picks, you don't think Grant Delpit is a stud compared to
No,
all the
I
other
don't
guys
think
we've
he's a
had?
stud.
You don't.
I
You don't think Cedric Tillman will be anything now that he has a quarterback that can throw him the ball?
If he will be anything, he's not now.
Okay.
Guys, I'm looking at the Browns draft picks by year.
Awful.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Mark. The last stud that you guys drafted, you drafted 3 of them in 18. Nick Chubb,
Mhm.
Denzel Ward, and Baker.
And none of those were Andrew Berry. Correct.
We're not going to sit here and have this discussion about Baker being a stud because he's not.
At that time, he was. I'm just saying, you drafted him as a stud. Nick Chubb would be a Hall of Fame running back if he didn't have the injuries.
I think if he has a good year next year and the year after, he is a Hall of Famer.
And then, oh, by the way, the year before that, you got some guy named Garrett.
Yeah, but the GM was forced to do that. We're not going to get into that. Before, so we've been on here for 20 minutes, and we only got a certain people for 30. So, Keith,
Yep.
what do you think is going to be the downfall of the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Can they? Steelers. Can they deal with Kansas City and can they deal with Buffalo? And
No, I'm
can
saying
they-
in the matchup versus
in
the
the
Browns.
matchup versus the Browns.
Yeah.
Downfall. Ugh, let's
They
see.
beat themselves.
Downfall. If the offense comes to a standstill like it did in Cleveland 2 weeks ago.
John, what about you?
I think the biggest problem they had was not protecting Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson got laid out multiple times in that game. And, I know Garrett was playing with his hair on fire because he was pissed off that TJ Watt's a baby or whatever. But, same thing. I mean, football's won in the trenches. So if they can't, whoever wins the offensive line versus defensive line battle is going to have a good shot of winning the game. So, obviously it's a little different. It's going to be at their place. I don't know what the weather is going to be like in 10 days from now, or whenever the game is, but
About 3 days from now.
What about
4
you,
days.
Mark?
I think it'll be.
3 days from now. Sorry.
I think it'll be the line. Russell Wilson's done a heck of a job, but one of the knocks on him, he hangs onto the ball too long, and if Myles Garrett and that defensive front starts wreaking havoc, I think turnovers possibly on that end. But Wilson's done a nice job. They're going to come out pissed off because of the loss in Cleveland. So I think overall, I think it's going to be that matchup with Myles Garrett and our defensive front trying to put some pressure on Russell Wilson.
For me, I think it's the Browns versus the Steelers in the red zone. Anything inside 30 yards. That's been a place where the Steelers have struggled this year. We saw some struggles with that last time we played them. I think that's where, minus big plays, I think that's where the Browns defense can really help us win the game, is within 30 yards of the touchdown. For Steelers fans, what do you think will win you this game on the offensive side of the ball?
I'm going to go with Najee Harris. He's got to do better than what he did 2 weeks ago. Can we put up another great 44 points like we did last week against Cincinnati? I don't know. It all depends what this weather's going to do. When I came in the house, it was snowing, so I think weather's going to have a big thing to do with it again. But I think Najee and Jalen Warren are going to have to do a lot more on the ground. But that's just my opinion.
I also think they got to continue. If you've noticed over the last few weeks, Freiermuth has been getting used a lot more. It started out first of the year. I was wondering if he was on the field, and they're starting to get him more involved in the offense. And I think that has definitely made a difference in opening up other things. Of course, the other part of that I really think is Adam's boy, Calvin Austin.
He's injured right now. Is he going to play?
From what I've heard, he's supposed to play. He's made some spectacular plays throughout the course of the season, really timely catches. But honestly, I really think that if they can get Freiermuth involved in the game early, that's definitely going to open up the rest of the offense for the Steelers in this one.
What about you, Kyle?
Need to gain consistent yards. Can't rely on splash plays all the time. We just can't. We need to gain the yards when they're available and just get down the field and finish. Get in the end zone. We can't rely on Boswell winning us another game. Not this late in the season.
I have Boswell on my fantasy team. I can rely on him whenever.
All right, maybe he can rely.
And I need him this week. If I lose, I'm out. I'm on a 4-game losing streak right now, and I'm not real happy.
To Steelers fans, what does your defense need to do to win this game? And since me and Kyle were having this discussion earlier, I'm gonna let him go first.
We need to switch it up, honestly. Well, what we were running against the Browns last time didn't work. I'm glad we have Herbig back and with Highsmith and Watt, so we can switch it up, send different guys out at certain points. And we also, same thing as the offense, need to stop relying on splash plays defensively. We need to be consistent there, not rely on forcing turnovers every couple plays while they're driving down the field on us and hoping that Wog, Highsmith, or Herbig can force a strip sack, hope that there's a tip pass for a pick, all of that. And, the special team is going to be a special team, so they're going to get a splash play, hopefully. They just seem to always do it every other week.
Rich and Adam?
Go ahead, Adam.
I would say we have to actually control Jameis Winston. He what Winston is going to show up. Is he going to show up the 4 touchdowns or the 2 to the other team like last week?
If he did both last week.
Yeah, I know. I said 2 to the other team and then 4 to his team. But I think controlling Jameis Winston is going to be the biggest key.
I got to give credit to Bettino before you go, Rich, because when you go back and watch the film, he was actually in shadow coverage on Jerome Ford, who ran an out behind Atkins and read the quarterback's eyes and made a play and jumped the ball. So I got to give him credit there. But that last pick six where he was trying to hit Elijah Moore, yeah, that was all Jameis. And hopefully the Lord does deliver him from pick sixes against the Steelers. But go ahead, Rich.
Well, I mean, you're getting Tillman back from what I hear. Judy was getting hot, and now after Monday night, I mean, I think he's going to be somebody you really got to reckon with, which means you got to have a couple of DBs that can cover. And Beanie Bishop has got to get back to that status that he was before, like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Joey Porter Jr. is going to be Joey Porter Jr. That's not the problem. But they've got to be able to take care of both of those receivers because both of them can have a huge game if they're given the opportunity. And then of course, whatever linebacker it is, whether it's Herbig, whether it's Highsmith, whoever, is going to have to keep an eye on Njoku. But I'm really looking that Beanie Bishop has got to make one of those receivers' lives miserable, and they've got to get pass rush on Jameis. They can't let Jameis just sit there all day and figure out where he's throwing it. They've got to get pressure on him, have him scrambling, and things like that. So if they don't have a pass rush, and if they don't have that second DB um, putting heavy pressure on the receiver, I think it's going to be a long night for the Steelers, a long day for the Steelers.
I have a question, guys. With the Browns buying 170 acres over in Brookside, are they rebuilding that stadium and making it indoor?
So it's Brook Park,
Brook Park, I'm sorry.
which is like 10, 15 minutes down the street, 5 minutes on the freeway. From what I'm hearing and what the connections that I know, the Haslam family is looking to have a women's soccer team. And since they would still own that land where the stadium is now, the speculation would be they would build the new stadium and all the things that are around it, similar to the way that the Hall of Fame is set up in Brook Park. Do that around the stadium with their own hotels, restaurants, and things like that. And then eventually tear down that stadium and make a new one similar to what they did with Lower.com Stadium in Columbus for a women's soccer team that they would plan to bring to Cleveland.
Oh, I heard they were doing full indoor. Browns were moving and everything.
Yeah, well, they would be
Yeah,
moving
there
to
is.
Brook Park, and it would be a dome. I thought you were saying what were they going to do with the previous stadium or the current
Oh, no.
stadium right now?
I was just asking, what I just saw this today, so this was all news to me. But since I was doing a Cleveland show, I figured I would ask.
And the practice facilities right around the corner in Berea.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I mean, it looked really nice from the diagram I saw. It looks like they're trying to get some NCAA Final Fours up there. They'd be able to play some basketball in there. Obviously the soccer. I saw the soccer field in there. Yeah, they did a full diagram of everything they were trying to do in there, and it looked really nice.
Problem is when they came back in '99, they kind of had to jam everything together at the last minute. So stadium was okay, but nothing special. Should have had a dome to begin with, being on the lakefront there, or at least a retractable so you can, nice days have the roof open or whatever. But I wouldn't be opposed. Not that I live there now, but I wouldn't be opposed to seeing that happen. I think it's something that needs to be done. Preferably, like to see that downtown, but Brook Park is 15 minutes away.
So to that Joey Porter thing, before we move on, I met Joey Porter and Joey Porter Sr. In his senior year at the Penn State versus Purdue game. Also, where I got to catch up with my favorite football player of all time, Reggie Bush. Me and his father kind of got into it because I had recognized him, and I was like, "Oh wait, you're senior, you're Joey's father," and he was like, "Yeah, you want to meet him?" And I was like, "No, I want to meet you." And then he was like, we had talked about his son, and this is where the argument came in, and he said, "Where do you think he's going to go?" I said, "I think he's going to go to you either at the end of the first round or early second round. You guys are going to trade up and go get him." And he proceeded to cuss me out in Joey Porter fashion, and I absolutely appreciated the authenticity, but I just had
Where
to
did
share
Joey
that.
think his kid was going to go?
He said he thought he was the number one corner in the draft, and thought he was going to go top 15, top 20.
That was, if I
And he
recall,
was in
wasn't
the
that
discussion.
Oh, for sure.
He was in the discussion for top DB in the draft, but
He was, but he. If I was going to be honest, the reason I felt like he was going in the second round was because I didn't think he fit anywhere. I didn't feel like what New England was doing at that time felt like he would be a number one in New England. And they took Gonzalez. Go ahead, Rich. I mean,
Keith, are you good, Keith? Do you need to? Are you rolling or are you sticking around? I didn't know what you were doing. It's 9:40.
I'm about to roll.
All right. So, what are your final thoughts on the game? And give us how to reach you, and then you can bug out And once again, I thank you for coming on, buddy.
Hopefully it'll probably be a typical AFC North type of game. Hard nose. I don't think it's going to be that much scoring. Believe it or not, I don't think it's going to be that much scoring. I think both defenses will play well. And it all depends on if the Browns can stay away from the mistake gaffes on defense and giving up big plays and stay away from the turnovers, they got a shot. But if
All
not,
right.
then it may be a long day in Pittsburgh. If not,
How do people get you, buddy?
Oh, catch me on All About Sports 216 on Sundays at 12 p.m. on the Browns pregame show. And then about 30 minutes after the conclusion of the game, we'll have the Browns postgame show. And you can catch me on Tuesdays on All About Sports 216 at 6 p.m. every Tuesday. And it'll be on X.
Thank you for coming on, buddy. Have a good night. And we will definitely, I catch your stuff when I can and I share it when I can. So
okay,
I help you out, buddy.
All right. Go Browns.
All right.
Go
Keith.
Browns.
See you, Keith.
See ya.
See you, Keith.
See ya.
So wait. Now that he's gone, I understand this is y'all's show, but y'all lost the last game. So can we put the Browns guys up at the top and put y'all down at the bottom?
No. It's by division rank. It's by division ranking. Who's in first?
As far as division
who's in
goes,
first in the AFC North. As far as the AFC North, yeah. Who's in first?
you guys for now. But once y'all lose, y'all
For
gonna
now.
be 2-2. Yeah, for now.
No.
I think the Browns win 24-17. Yep.
I love it.
24-17. And the reason we win is because y'all struggle inside the red zone and Russ tries to make a play outrunning Garrett and he throws a pick. And that seals the game. And we finish. It's gonna be 21-17. He gonna throw that pick. We gonna go down and kick a field goal and give y'all like 40 seconds, and y'all ain't gonna be able to get it done.
My concern's Hopkins, just like you talked about. Justin Tucker. I don't know what Hopkins last year. He couldn't miss a kick, and seems like there's one a game now. I don't know what the talk is in Cleveland or what's going on with him, but it comes down to a tight game. That certainly concerns me.
I agree, but I think he's gonna get his miss out of the way early in the game. So hopefully by the end he'll be all right.
And just to let you know, because they covered that end zone by the river, they put all those seats in there. It's really stopped the wind from coming through like it used to. So it's become more of a kicker's.
Yeah, but remember, man, opposing kickers still can't hit from 50. 50 plus, they can't hit. They still can't. Boswell's the only one that's got that mastered.
I'm just saying, like, since they put those seats in there, that wind has not played that big of an effect.
Yeah. But for whatever reason, opposing kickers can't. Once they get to 50, it's like there's a force field that the opposing kickers can't hit one past 50. Boswell, he could go from 70 and, it wouldn't take a shot at it anyway. But, I don't think it's going to come down to field. I think it may come down to a field goal, but it's not going to come down to a field goal battle. I don't think it's going to be another 6 field goal game for Boswell.
So, Cal, what are your predictions? And then we'll go with the rest of the Steelers, and then we'll get Mark and John in here. What are your predictions for the game?
I think it's gonna be a low-scoring game. I'm gonna go 16-12. That's why I think Steelers win. I'm not riding high on the Bengals game last week because it's the Bengals. Their defense is terrible. Anybody can put up 30 or 40 on them. So, but I think it's going to be a different game than last time. We're going to be at home. We're going to have the energy, and there's no no way we can lose to the Browns 2 times in one season and think we're going anywhere. So we got to win this game, and I think we win this game.
When's the last time that's happened, by the way?
Never. Unless it was Bernie Kosar.
Might have been.
I don't know. Rich, are you looking that up or you want me to?
It was
No,
probably,
I was looking at
probably
something
the
else up.
80s.
I think
What
that
are we
they
looking
said.
for?
I think they said it on the radio the last time we beat y'all at home or at in Pittsburgh in the regular season. I think it's been like 16 years. Because
That
you remember
sounds
the year.
about right.
Because you remember the year we beat y'all to get into the playoffs. We played in Cleveland and won, and then the next week in the wild card we came to Pittsburgh, and we lost to y'all earlier that year on the road.
The last,
Because I don't think we ever beat Ben Roethlisberger at home.
that was a playoff game.
Yeah, besides the playoff game, you beat us at home.
Yeah, I'm saying in the regular season we never beat Big Ben in Pittsburgh.
Let's see. At Pittsburgh. That was fine. Okay. At Pittsburgh.
We're all zipping through these lines, like looking.
L at Pittsburgh. Oh, I'm sorry. 2003. 33-13. Cleveland at Pittsburgh.
Couch.
That was a Sunday night football game.
That was the Tim Couch game.
So it's been longer than that, right? So, but yeah, Adam, how do you think this?
No,
game
that wasn't that the playoff year that they beat us twice, but we still won. We still split the regular season in 2003.
That
2003, yeah, we split the regular season. We won in Cleveland and we lost at home. And then, wait a minute. No, that was that's right. That was in January. No, Pittsburgh won that one. Hold on. Yeah. 33-13, October 5th, 2003. Regular season at Pittsburgh, 33-13. And then Pittsburgh beat Cleveland in Cleveland Thanksgiving weekend that year.
Yeah, it says here, I just Googled it, but it said last series sweep for the Browns was in 1988.
excuse me.
Series sweep is a distinct possibility, yeah. But the last time they won in Pittsburgh was 2003.
Yeah, it was 2003. The Browns win their first game at Heinz Field, defeating the Steelers 33-13. This was the Browns' only win at Heinz Field until 2020 in the playoffs.
You guys won all 6 in the regular season from 86 to 88.
Mm-hmm. Of course, that was when y'all were going to AFC Championship games.
Was that the Bubby Brister years?
That kind of,
or the Mark Malone years?
No, those were Bubby Brister years.
Tim Worley.
Throwing to Louis Lips and pieces of garbage, Mike Malarkey and crap like that.
I just want to remind you, Bubby Brister does have a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, I also want to remind you, Bubby Brister sucks. It's 8:50 Central, and Bubby Brister still sucks.
Bubby Brister got a ring. He's great.
There's a ton of guys that have a ring. What did they do for it? I mean,
I don't know. He held a clipboard behind John Elway.
Remember, there's 53 guys on every team. Not all of them see the field in the Super Bowl. Or at any point leading into it. It's kind of like the bullpen catcher gets a World Series ring. Doesn't mean he had anything to do with them winning it.
My thoughts on this game. I always love the high scoring game. I'm thinking 31-28. I just feeling it. I'm not really going to say winner or loser. Obviously, I
think
want the Steelers to
somebody-
win,
I
but
think somebody knows what's really going to happen.
I mean, I can't help it. It's a bad team. Tomlin just beat a bad team, and we know like what he does. He can't keep the momentum going.
I
I think
think
we could lose this game.
I think
We're not losing this game.
I think the Garrett thing. I think Jameis really knowing what this means, and the team really knowing what this means to Nick Chubb to have his first return to Heinz Field. I think
This
they
is
know
Kevin
what it
Stefanski's Super Bowl.
right. If they pull this off, even
He
though I
beats
don't
the Chubb.
even though I don't think him and Barry are on the hot seat, I really don't. I do think winning this, they could lose every other game the rest of the year. They win this, they're solid.
If Stefanski's on the hot seat, you got people with rocks in their head in the front office in Cleveland.
Well,
I mean,
it's been more of a media thing where they want Andrew Berry or Kevin Stefanski, one of the two. Even though I think personally it should be Deep Podesta, but we'll never finish the show.
yeah.
So what do you think, Rich?
I'm going to go Steelers. I'm taking the over, I think. What'd you say the over-under was, Adam?
43.
43? Then, yeah, I'm going with the over. 31-27 Pittsburgh. I'm going to say Pat Freiermuth catches a touchdown pass. I really think that, you're going to – Cleveland can play offense. There's no too many people think, well, Cleveland doesn't have an offense. Yeah, they do. And you're getting Tillman back, which is going to make a difference. You're going to put points on the board. I don't see the defense. I don't see the Steelers defense shutting Cleveland down. But what I do see is just that the Steelers doing enough to win, which is their MO. They'll have one game a season like they did last week. And even at that, it was a one-score game. But they were up 3 scores at one point. For whatever reason, they cannot blow the doors off of anybody. They could play central directional beefsteak tech, and they'd leave them in the game. It's insane. But give me the Steelers. Like I say, 31-27. And I think Freiermuth catches a touchdown.
Mark?
I think it's going to be a tight game. I'd say it's going to be 24-20, and I'll give the Steelers the nod, but it depends on what Jameis Winston shows up. It's mind-boggling when you look at it. How inept that offense was with Deshaun Watson. It was like watching junior high football. But Jameis, he's a gunslinger. He's going to make a mistake. He's going to turn the ball over. If you can minimize that, I think the Browns can move the ball, and I think it's going to come down like this past week. The 2 pick sixes obviously put us to bed, but the defense still gave up 400 yards, or around 400 yards against Denver, and just they gave up some big chunk plays. They got to knock those off, and you got to be able to run the ball a little bit. And so I think, Pittsburgh's got the edge at home. We don't play well there typically. But I'll tell you, TJ Watt was a no-show in Cleveland in that game. If he's quiet again, I think the Browns have a chance to win it. If he's out there wreaking havoc, I think Jameis, you have him moving around in the pocket, or that pocket collapses. It may be a long day, but I think TJ Watt's he's going to play a huge factor in that. Which one will show up? But I'd say right now, take the over slightly at 24-20.
John?
I don't know. I would never predict the Browns game because every week's different. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game. I don't think it's gonna be as high scoring as maybe the Pittsburgh guys think it will be. I would say it's probably I'm pretty close to where Mark's at. 20, 23-20, 24-20, 24-21, somewhere in that range. It's kind of what Vegas is saying. They got Pittsburgh as a 6.5, 7-point favorite. So, but I don't want to sound like a broken record. Obviously, if Jameis can minimize turnovers or the team can minimize turnovers, then they should be able to compete and maybe steal a game. It'd be nice to sweep them on a year that has been more or less meaningless for the Browns. So just for being a Browns fan, I'll say Browns 23-20.
Evan?
Like I said, 24-17. Nick Chubb has the biggest touchdown of the game, the most important touchdown of the game.
Are they going to run it right at Watt again?
No.
Oh, I wish they would.
I think most of Nick Chubb's yards are going to come off the screen game, but his biggest rush is going to be a 20-yard touchdown. I think it's going to be a physical run, and I think the reason he scores is Minka's head is still fucked up, and he's not going to commit to that tackle, and it's going to lead to a touchdown. I think David Njoku has a touchdown, and I think Jerry Jeudy has a big receiving touchdown as well. And then hopefully, out of the 17 field goals that Hopkins is gonna miss, he makes the 18th and 19th kick that seals the game late.
I love it. I love it. All right. I don't know if someone hit a thing around here or not, but my screen keeps going blank. I think I'm like, fuck.
It's the snow.
It's trying to tell you what's about to happen.
Lights out. Steelers are gonna go out. Is that what you're telling? Is that what you're saying?
No, the Browns gonna knock y'all lights out. That's what's gonna happen. TJ Watt gonna show up early and get to talking his little talk, his little baby bark, and then we gonna show Myles Garrett gonna show him what a real bark is.
Hey, Steeler fans, do you think? Again, I hear it here all the time. Do you think this team is for real? And when they get to the playoffs, can they do some damage in the playoffs?
Yep. Tell the truth, guys.
Come on.
I do. I think they can. If you look at the other 6 teams in the AFC that would be in the playoffs with the Steelers right now, they could definitely beat Denver. They would beat the Chargers. The Chiefs and Buffalo would be my big concerns, and really more Buffalo than Kansas City.
I'm just saying.
I'm not concerned about the South. Houston was my original pick for the Super Bowl. Unless they throw it into gear in the next few weeks, I don't really see Houston doing much in the playoffs. To me, I could certainly see a Buffalo-Pittsburgh AFC championship. I could see that.
I think Buffalo is a really tough place to play, and they obviously have the tiebreaker with Kansas City if the Chiefs falter. I think Buffalo looks the best of anybody in the AFC, I think, by far. Detroit was looking really good, but now all these injuries kind of playing some games here with them, but they're still really, really good. Those are the 2 teams that are just right now.
The Lions just signed Jamal Adams and McNeil, right?
Yeah. That and one other guy.
Quan Alexander. But, you look at those two. I mean, we've talked on the open mic about power rankings and all that. And Mark, you brought the consensus. I think the top two teams in those power rankings was Detroit and Buffalo, depending which order. Somehow either way. And I think you're right. Those are the two best teams in the NFL right this minute.
Yeah, and I think Kansas City, you never count them out, but they just don't look to be. I don't know. They just don't seem to be clicking. They certainly have a horseshoe up their ass. Seems like every call, every down to the wire game, something goofy happens. But never count them out. But right now, I think Buffalo is really, really the team to beat in that AFC. But you never know. Chargers, Pittsburgh beat the Chargers in that first meeting, but I think they're coming along as well. But yeah, it's hard to read Pittsburgh. They've won some tight games. I think they're talented. I think Russell Wilson's hitting this groove. I just don't see them as one of the top three in the AFC. I don't know. Time will tell.
If the Steelers play Buffalo, is it in Buffalo?
If Buffalo gets the higher seed, I would think that right now, depending what happens, I would say I'll forecast that Buffalo will be the number one seed.
I think so too, because the Steelers have a hell of a last part of the season. I mean, they've still got to play Baltimore, the Chiefs, and the Eagles within 10 days of each other. They still have another game with Cincinnati. They've got this game coming up against Cleveland. They've got a really tough stretch. Yeah, that's what I was saying. They got Baltimore, KC, Philly in 10 days, in a 10-day stretch. I could certainly see the Steelers losing one or two more games the rest of the way. Flip side of that, Buffalo's got division games, and let's be honest, Buffalo's division absolutely sucks pond water. They're all horrible, and they should be able to clinch the one seed relatively easily, unless they just have a massive slip up.
I hate to say it, but did anybody see that play where Amari Cooper pitched it to Allen for the touchdown? Amari Cooper, I hope you make the Super Bowl and trip on the 1 yard line and drop the ball at the 2.
Yeah, he was mailing it in before he got moved.
I mean, I understand that everybody kind of felt like the ship was over with Watson, and he didn't like the being mentioned for a trade. But dog, I hope you trip at the 1 yard line and leave the ball at the 2. I swear, I hope. I really don't want to see him win a Super Bowl. Not this year. He can win one next year. Not this year.
What are you guys hearing over there about? I know they talk. Deshaun's coming back, but I would cut his ass tomorrow and eat the $90 million because obviously you can see the offense is a much different offense with a competent quarterback, and he's just not it. And so cut your loss, move on. The 3 number 1 picks that we wasted on that trade is going to set the team and the franchise back. You haven't had really any difference makers coming in. It's just so aggravating that they would make such an inept trade. It just makes you shake your head, and it's just Cleveland Browns like. You come to expect those things.
To answer that question,
let's let John go first on that.
All right.
On what, Watson?
Yeah.
I mean, what's there to say?
There he is.
They going to cut him or keep him around?
It's always the bitches that will get you, So, I don't think they can cut him. I think they're going to ask him to just chill at home like Houston did. I think it's too I don't know. I can't remember the number. $72 million hit next year and the year after if they cut him or something. It's a little less after June 1st or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a cap guy, but I think they're probably. I just you've done so many things to try to accommodate for him. He just unfortunately, mentally he's just not there anymore, and he went through a lot with his legal stuff, and he's just it's kind of like Tiger Woods. He's just gone. So at least Tiger came back and won a major at some point, but yeah, I don't think they're going to cut him. I think they're just going to keep him on the roster, have a 52-man roster, and just tell him to chill at home. And then maybe next year, after June 1st, after next season, they could cut him and eat whatever's left on the thing. But as we went over, I'm not too worried about the draft picks because we can't draft. So, what did we really miss out on?
Excuse me.
That's right, Andrew Barry.
Andrew Barry is doing a fine job.
Yeah.
So they were talking about it on the Really Big Show, and the talk is what John mentioned. They're probably just going to send him home and pay him. They're probably going to find a way to get a restructure. Quincy Carrier, I don't know if anybody's a fan of him on YouTube, especially for Browns fans, mentioned the idea that if he still wants to play football, because even though his camp pretty much departed from Cleveland as the season started, there's still been talk of football where there's the chance of a buyout. And my thing is, I know this is a long shot, and I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but it would be kind of interesting to see him go to like the UFL and see if he can get his confidence back. But I think the honest answer is he's just going to be sitting at home. And
I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
Why would he put that money? Why would he, give that money back? I mean,
but to take a buyout at that number is still going to be. It would just the way I think of it is if he was going to take a buyout, which is a super long stretch, think of it as just another restructure at that point, because that's all it's really been.
Yeah. I don't know what that does to the cap, but
I mean, there would still be a significant amount to hit, but they would be able to stretch it out because the contract is then nullified because of the buyout.
Yeah,
I was just wonder whose decision. To me, reading it, you guys are closer to the situation over there, but you just, you could just tell Stefanski's giving lip service. Kind of backing. It's his choice to play him, etc. You just wonder who the hell made this decision. Was it Haslam that overruled everybody and said, give him the guaranteed money? Was it Barry's decision? I don't know. They keep saying it was a group decision, but I don't think that's the case. I wonder if it's the meddling owner again making that decision when it happened.
I think it was a group decision, and the group decision was DePodesta said that statistically it makes sense. Andrew Beery said that it makes sense because of the price cap and how they could restructure it and work the salary cap, because that's the biggest thing that he's known for. And the meddling owner overstepped when Deshaun Watson decided to say, no, we're not in the teams remaining. He said, well, fine, I'll double the amount and give you a fully guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned talk about dysfunction. You got DePodesta, a baseball guy, making football decisions. I know he's the analytics guy, but here's a guy making all that money sitting in LA somewhere, making these decisions. That's another guy that would not be on my staff. I could tell you that.
I was hoping we didn't go here. I don't like DePodesta because it doesn't have anything to do with football. The reason he is a right-hand man and has the Haslam's ear is because he saved them financially when they got in trouble with the FBI with Flying Pilot J. That's what was going on. They're friends of friends, and he saved his ass, and he gave him a job.
Well, he should go to work at Pilot Flying J and stay out of the football world.
Because And I agree, because there's no way that a guy is saying that these things matter while living in LA. He's never been to Berea at all, not even for the draft. We saw him, if I'm not mistaken, in one press conference, just one, and that's it.
He lives in San Diego, by the way.
Does he?
San Diego, Sacramento, wherever. He needs to kiss Jimmy Haslam's ass and say goodbye, and kick him to the curb, get him out the way.
Yep.
That's the reason. That's the reason that because everybody wanted to say in the media that it was the Andrew Berry was the reason that Waking the Sleeping Giant left. I can't think of his name right now. He's in Detroit. John Dorsey left,
Yeah,
but it was really about the arguments that they were having between John Dorsey and Dee Podesta, and that's come out over the last 2 years from Tony Grossi. So it's time for this man to get out the way. Let football players and football coaches and football minds do football things, and leave the money guy or the numbers guy to go play with numbers.
I think at the end of the day, the biggest problem with the Browns with Haslam is no matter what, he refuses to change the structure where he will always have multiple people reporting to him. He won't have like a hierarchy of like, all right, here's the president of operations or whatever, or the GM, and the coach reports to the GM. It's always the GM and the coach, and now some numbers guy reports to him, and it will always cause a power struggle no matter what. Just the name of the game, and that's how it always happens. That's why everyone gets fired. That's why everyone, Barry and Stefanski seem to still be on the same page, for now. But as soon as shit hits the fan a little bit more, or if the seat keeps getting hotter, eventually they're going to turn on each other. And it's just a power struggle who has the owner's ear and who convinces him. And then that person will get another year, and then some other guy's going to come in, and then they're going to fire everybody.
Well, one last thing to say about that. Go Cavs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Go ahead, man.
No. I was about to ask.
I was going to say we got any more to go. I mean, I know these three Cleveland guys. They sound like they could just ride on our team all day. I love it.
Absolutely, y'all suck. I don't care if y'all win the Super Bowl. Y'all suck. Y'all were good for 1 second, and that was the final second of the game. After that, y'all suck.
Hey, can I tell you a story real quick?
Go ahead.
So we were we sponsored a function at Heinz Field. It wasn't for the Steelers. It was for a charity. And so I said, well, I'm going to get hives walking into Heinz. I don't call it Acrisure, it's Heinz Field. So going to Heinz Field, well, I printed about 30 little brownie elves off, and I put them in my pocket and in my suit pocket. So I went in there, and you were allowed to walk around the stadium. So my wife videotaped me. I was putting the little brownie elves in all the cup holders in the stadium and different spots. So one of my coworkers, he goes, "You're going to jinx yourself. Don't you dare do that. You're going to jinx the." I go, "We've been jinxed since 1964. You think putting the brownie elves going to be? You think that's going to be the difference maker, huh?" And but yeah, they got a kick out of that. But it's just I got to take 2 blood pressure medications on Sundays watching these guys.
Understandable.
Oh man. Go ahead, Rich.
Guys, I know I got a book. I apologize, but I got to hit the high road running.
That's fine. How people get you, buddy?
Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it this week. Go Big, Go Home Pod. Facebook, just my name, Rich Richardson. And love getting a chance to talk different things. Let's have some discussion, debate. Tell us that we suck. Tell us that we're right. As long as we get the conversation going, let's do it. Of course, Adam and I do this every Wednesday, talking Pittsburgh sports. And then Tuesday night, driving to the Tops open mic night. God only knows where that ends up. We go all over the place with that one. Evan and Adam will definitely attest to that. So y'all all have a good night. I got to get out of here, but y'all have fun. Good to see all you guys. Great to meet
You
y'all.
too.
And we'll get together again.
Love you, big
Okay.
guy. See you soon.
Take it easy.
See y'all later. See ya.
Kyle, I want to say thank you for coming on. I definitely got to get you to come on more so I could get that boisterous Steelers fan that I'm used to on the pod. But I definitely am appreciative of you joining on, Mark. It was nice to meet you, John, as always. Adam, I'll talk to you once we end the stream about what I need. But Kyle, go first on where they can find you and if you'll be back.
I got nothing to promote yet, but I'd love to be back if you guys will have me. Hopefully by then I'll have something to promote. But until then, thank you for having me, guys.
Cal,
Absolutely.
you're welcome to join us on Tuesday nights, man.
For sure.
Open
for
mic,
sure. I'd be down.
open conversation.
Yep. Anytime.
Sports. Let me rephrase this. Sports.
Anytime. Of course.
Actually, we
And
need another.
wrestling.
Actually, we need another basketball show, and my man is a Thunder fan, and me and him
Yep.
talk ball a lot, so that might be in the work.
Let's do it.
Yep. Don't tell me twice.
We got to talk about what the hell the Penguins are doing, even though
They're
they
trash. They're trash. We don't need to talk about them.
The Blue Jackets are doing better than the Penguins.
Yes,
You
they
know,
are.
you know, Mark, I think we've come to the end of the road, buddy.
Yeah, I think it's time to
Um,
pull the plug.
remember the trade that saved us was the trade we hated, and that was Yager going to Washington.
Yeah,
Wound up being one of the best things of looking back on it because it ended up giving us Fleury, Malkin, Crosby, and then Letang eventually.
Yeah, and now Malkin, Letang, and Carlson. Those guys should be skating at Disney on ice. They should. Crosby's still a beast, but the goaltending is just pathetic, and so is the defense. But they've won 4 in a row now, so maybe they're starting to perk up a little bit. But we'll see.
You know, our goaltending has always been a problem, Mark, since we got rid of that guy that's pretty good playing for Minnesota.
Is he still playing?
Oh,
yeah, this is last year, I think.
Just celebrated his 40th birthday, I believe, right?
Yeah, they just honored him here.
Yeah.
And but you got the Cleveland kid in goal, that Nedeljkovic.
I like him. He's my favorite by far.
Yeah,
He's on Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
he's from Parma.
Oh. Was he on the Monsters by any chance or no?
Not sure. I don't know where he came from. I think they picked
He
him
came
up
from Detroit. I don't know if Detroit drafted him or not, but that's where he came from, Detroit.
And the Pirates are the Pirates. So the Pirates are the Browns of baseball.
God.
That
Well,
hurt
at least
my
you didn't say
feelings.
you were the A's.
I don't know, man. Pirates got a good pitcher now.
You know, we're gonna have a solid rotation. I know we just lost Chapman. He went to Boston yesterday. Our pitching should be good. It's gonna be our bats. Our bats are gonna be the problem. I guess we'll take Brian Reynolds off second base and put him at the plate for the golden bat age in the bottom of the ninth, and maybe we'll win some games.
No reason they shouldn't compete in that division.
Well, Tito's in there now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to Cincinnati. I was going to ask, what did you guys think of that one?
That was pretty shocking, especially with all the health issues he's had. I'm pretty floored that he actually. I know it's in his blood and everything else, but man, he was really struggling health-wise.
I thought he was going to come back and manage. I just wasn't thinking Cincy. I thought he was going to go to like San Diego or something like that.
I thought he was going to stay home and go to Pittsburgh.
But I think Cincy and Cleveland share the same spring training facility, and I think he's got a house right there, and I think it's really convenient for him. I know it's just only like spring training, but I think he's like familiar with everything that goes on there, and the organizations are pretty close. So Whatever, Cal. See you later, dude.
I think he got a phone call.
Whatever, man. No. But I think it was just convenient for Tito. And, I don't know. I'm interested to see what goes on there. Maybe
Well,
since
Scott-
he has some good managing, they could actually,
He's got some good players. He's got some good players down there.
since
My
he goes 40 and 20 every year and then somehow finishes below 500.
My question is this a spite move? Because there were rumblings that his departure was not what he wanted when it came to the Guardians.
In what terms?
I think he didn't get to leave the way he wanted to leave. I think he was pushed out
Just
because
walk
of
out the door and go on a scooter?
yeah, when he wanted to leave.
Yeah. I think
wonder
he
if they'll
was
steal a
pissed.
scooter in Cincinnati.
I think he was pissed that they were 2 games out of the division and they traded away, they booked
They
it
sold.
in for the year.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought like maybe he'll go to San Diego that has a big payroll, or maybe the Angels or somebody. Nice weather, California, but I don't know. I mean, Cincinnati, I don't know what their payroll is like, but it's probably pretty similar to the Indians. So
What do they got? Brian Dela Cruz. They got
I guess they got some pretty good pitching.
I was gonna say they got some pitching down there, but there's no names popping off my head right now. Mark, are you looking it up?
So they got
No.
Brian and Ellie.
Brian L.A. Cruz.
So what's the shortstop's first name?
Isn't it Brian Dela Cruz?
I don't know his first name.
Because
I
I know
just
he has
know
a
the dude.
brother.
I just know the dude steals a lot of bases. They got the kid from West A too. I don't know if he's ever going to make it or not, but he can hit the ball.
Yeah, Ellie
Wow.
De La Cruz.
Yeah, Ellie De La Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens. I mean, that division, yeah, like Mark said, it's not that great. So
Well, when you have Skeens and you have Jones and you have Keller as your top 3, there's no reason you shouldn't be in the mix. But the Pirate fans here are just, what's the difference? In 4 years, we'll be with the Yankees.
I said it too, Mark. So don't feel bad.
Yeah.
That's just the way we are. We don't pay.
well,
We don't pay what these players can get with no
That's how we
salary
are.
cap. With no salary cap, we're never going to be able to keep them.
what did you think about Boyd getting what did he get, 28 million
That's
or something?
crazy.
29
Crazy.
million?
Yeah. I wouldn't pay for that. No way.
I don't know who's going to pitch for the Indians next year.
It's disappointing. McKenzie, I mean, you thought he had a bright future, but man, I know injuries kind of sidetracked him, but he was just a shell of himself last year.
Yeah.
He struggled in Columbus.
I know they kind of kept that real quiet, but it wasn't doing that great.
Yeah.
But
He's another one who's probably, I think, mentally gone. And the thing is, the only time he's ever played a full season was that one year he did pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every single year coming up and in the majors, he's always hurt.
we talked
Are
about
they
that on
going to go
Tuesday.
after? Are they going to go after any pitching?
I don't think they're going to go after anyone. They never do.
They'll have a catch of lightning in a bottle kind of guys like Boyd and, trying to find people off the scrap heap and kind of reclamation projects.
And you don't even know how much money you're losing on the TV deal. They're, I guess, what MLB is doing it, or is Amazon doing it? I don't even
I think
know. What's going
MLB.
on. So they say you get 25% of your original deal. I mean, I don't know. It sounds like who knows what's going to happen, but
They need pitching.
yes. That's why I thought for sure they were going to sign Boyd back.
I thought so too, but when my eyeballs almost popped out of my head when I saw how much he got.
Where'd he go?
Cubs.
Jesus.
It was like 15 million a year, 14 million a year, something like
I
that.
think, yeah, something like that. I think it's 29, 2 years, 29 million.
Mhm.
It's 2 years, 28 million with $1 million of incentives that you could make or something like that. So it's like two for 29.
Damn.
But that's kind of like almost like, that's just what it costs to get pitching. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, they got some work to do.
And then are they going to resign Bieber? Like a 1 year, hey,
I
come
would.
here,
I
rehab,
would. Yeah.
and come pitch in July.
Hopefully, come back on a friendly deal after everything, all the injuries he's gone through.
I thought for sure they could get Boyd for like 10 million a year. That's what I was thinking. And then he signed that. I'm like, well, I guess I was way off on that.
We say 4 million like it's nothing, but that's a lot of money.
No, I mean 10 million. I was thinking 10 million.
Right, but
I
he got
mean-
14.
Yeah, I know.
So, like in Major League Baseball, you say 4 million and it sounds like nothing, but in reality, that's a lot of money,
Yeah.
especially in Chicago.
But yeah, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get off. You can find me at Talking Sports by the Lake here on Driving to the Top Productions. Also on Tuesdays, you can find me on the open mic. Soon to be Thursdays, you can find me on Let's Argue, which is a co-hosted show that's based on arguing with the fans and arguing with each other, where we'll have guys you see on open mic and guys you see here, just to argue and talk about topics we see on social media and the sports topics going on at the current time. You can also find me
Nice.
on Twitter. The UFL offseason is almost over. We're going to be talking about that with Jamie Malloy soon and running that show back. Adam, will you be with us for that?
We'll see. I've been paying attention, so I've been trying to rev up again.
Yeah.
Is
So
Heinz Ward coaching again? Wasn't he a coach?
he was a
Heinz
coach of
Ward.
the XFL. I don't know if he transferred over to the UFL,
Oh.
but
He was with the San Antonio, I believe.
yeah, he was with the San Antonio Brahmas.
Another crybaby.
Yep, absolutely. See, John gets it. But thank you to all the viewers that we had. Don't forget to hit the like button. You can always find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube and our Twitch channel, also under the same name. And again, I'm Evan, the host of Talking Sports by the Lake. Peace.
All right, Ab, take it
Yeah,
easy,
nice
Nice
brother.
to see you.
Later, guys. Nice to meet you guys.
You too.
Then there were 3.
Yep. Well,
Um,
you can find me in the backyard smoking a cigar. That's where you can find me at.
I love it, Mark.
You can find me on Twitter, not tweeting.
John, you're a reader, huh?
Only when crazy crap happens, I'm a reader.
Absolutely. Driving to the Top on YouTube, at Sports Talking It on Twitter, Driving to the Top on Twitter. You can find us, hit that like, subscribe button, guys. Hey, I thank you guys for coming in. I didn't know we were going to talk Tribe tonight. I got to be a little more prepared.
It always comes back to baseball, dude.
Right,
Yeah.
because baseball's the best game in the world.
Well,
With us three anyway.
I want to go
spring
get my
training will be here
golden.
before you know
I want to
Right?
go get my golden bat.
it.
You guys are welcome to join us any night on open mic if you want to. Mark, we do at 9:00. It's just an open mic, open sports. So
What day is that? Just every
Tuesday,
Wednesday?
9:00.
Tuesday, 9:00.
Yeah. If I'll send you a link. I mean, you can always join in. It's just
Yeah, send me a link because
John,
it
you are too.
depends on my schedule. Yeah. But
I know you're just a traveling man. I love it. Every time I talk to you, hey, I'm in Wisconsin. Hey, I'm in Florida. Hey, I'm
yeah, I'm
out
in
west.
Nashville,
Hey.
California. Yeah, it was quite the whirlwind. We should do
Are
a
you
show
home?
on people watching at the airport. That would be pretty entertaining.
As long as we got good commentary, people will listen.
I have photos. I like the people that stretch out before they get on the plane. It's like, are you flying or are you jogging? but you see them stretching out in the airport. But anyhow, if I don't see you guys, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
You
Yes,
too.
sir.
Thank you.
All right. Merry
Thanks,
Christmas.
guys.
Happy. It's a little early for that, Mark. Maybe we'll get one more show with you.
Maybe.
I like it.
That's why I said
John-
if I will talk to you. Yeah. Go Browns.
All right, guys.
Go Browns.
Go Steelers.